Good morning, everyone. How are you? I hope everybody's really good today. It's Monday, the start of our week, and it is so cold here today. I do not like it. I am not made for the cold. I want to be a snowbird. I need to go south for the winter. So I got my nice hot coffee with my Slim and Sassy in there today to keep me nice and warm. So today I want to talk to you about how to eat that holiday candy, or I should say Halloween specifically, how to eat that Halloween candy without guilt, okay? Because we just had Halloween, right? We just had it over the weekend, and it was nice that it fell over the weekend, but it was different this year. We didn't get as many trick-or-treaters as usual, and everybody, you couldn't really go to people's doors. You just had to. A lot of people had stuff set out in their driveways, which was nice too, but either way, we either bought candy, right? Or the kids came home with candy. So now we're left with all this leftover Halloween candy. So now what do we do? What do we do with this? So if you come on today, say hello. I'd love to know that you're here. I'd like to say hi to you. And also, if you catch the replay, #replay, so I know you're here. And if you have any questions at all, let me know. Just pop it in the comments for me. So, okay, so like I said, Halloween just passed, and the typical Halloween scenario, you buy those really big bags of candy, right? We go to the grocery store, we're like, oh, we gotta get the candy, gotta get it ready, make sure we're prepared. So we go and we buy the big bags, right? We bring them home, and we still got a couple weeks before Halloween even gets here, right? So it's tempting. And you know what happens? We end up diving into it. Or, you walk by like, oh, I'll just have one. Walk by a little later, I'll just have one. No, the next day, I'll just have another. Before you know it, that entire bag is gone. And now you're like, oh my gosh, Halloween isn't even here yet. I need to go get more candy. I need to have candy. If somebody shows up, I have to have it, ready for the kids. So, the thing is with that, like, okay, Halloween, we did that. Halloween, it came and it went. And now there's these leftovers. The kids either came home with candy, or we just, had these extra bags of candy in our house. So now what do? We have all these leftover goodies. And what does that actually mean for you? Think about that for a minute. Well, the thing is, the candy hangover is about to come on. The feelings of guilt, the frustration, the exhaustion, all these feelings. And all these feelings come with overeating, right? Overeating and binging and feeling out of control with food. Again, this cycle with being around sweets, especially when we're kind of overloaded with them in the house. It's like, oh, what do? They're just right here. They're just staring me in the face. So I gotta eat it, right? Or I'm bored, so I'm gonna have some. Or I'm lonely, I'm gonna have some. I'm not feeling too good today. I'm kind of sad. I'm gonna have some. All ways in which we use it as comfort, right? It's kind of comforting to us. It feels good. We're like, yeah, I'm gonna have a piece of candy. So, hi Lena, how are you? Thank you for coming on. So, what can we do? What can we do to kind of stop that cycle and get that mentality of not having to just binge on this candy just because it's there for whatever reason or for whatever we might be feeling, okay? So, you might feel like, with this darn candy just laying around, you might feel like you can't get a handle on just food in general. Sometimes it makes you feel like that. And then you're just completely frustrated with it because every time a holiday comes up, you always overeat, or you always feel out of control with the goodies and the snacks and the treats, okay? Plus, Halloween is kind of like that. It's kind of like a gear up for the coming holidays, but you're already feeling defeated because of it, because you've been eating all this candy and you're like, all right, I still got the next holiday is coming right around the corner. What am I gonna do? So with it being Monday after the weekend of Halloween, Today I have some really simple tips for you to help you avoid that after Halloween binge and guilt. And even though this is specific to Halloween, these tips can also help guide you through these upcoming holidays. And I'm going to be absolutely real here, okay? I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, and I'm not going to try to tell you to just keep everything out of the house. That would be simple to say, but I know that's not easy to do. So to me, you know what? Number one, pick your favorites. If you're going to have it, make sure it's something you're really going to enjoy. So you most likely know what you prefer, right? Like I like dark chocolate, and I like almond joys. So these are things that I know that I prefer. I prefer the dark chocolate over milk chocolate. Or do you like the chocolate when it's together with the peanut butter? So these are things that, think about that for a minute. Which ones do you really, really enjoy? And here's another thing. And answer this honestly. Have you ever found that there's those sweets that never taste as good as you really thought? I have found that over the years from eating intuitively, for one, and the more I make healthier choices, the more sweets I thought I really liked are not as appealing to me. Like, for example, my daughter had a little, mini Kit Kat in her bag, so that's what I chose to have, and I had it, and afterwards I was like, you know what? Even while I was eating it, I was thinking, this isn't even as good as I thought it would be. It's not really hitting the spot for me, and I'm kind of sorry I ate it because it didn't even taste that good to me. And I would have preferred a piece of dark chocolate or something with more dark chocolate. So I have found that over the years, like I said, from eating intuitively and making all these really good healthy choices, that's what my body craves now. And that's what happens when you do eat intuitively and you start making more healthy choices. Your body will naturally crave and really enjoy the more nutrient-dense type foods, so that when you have something that's not quite as nutrient-dense, then you're just kind of like, you know what? I prefer something a little more healthful, I guess, so to speak. So it also makes me think of, like, say you go into a bakery, and there's all these different pastries and breads and cakes and cookies and cupcakes, and they all look so, so good. But I have found from my experience that they tend to look better than how they actually taste. Okay, so that's just an example. So pick your favorites. If you are going to have something, pick something you're really, really gonna like. Like next time, I might as well just have the Almond Joy or something that's with dark chocolate, because I know that's what's really gonna satisfy me. And number two, keep your candy on hand. Don't get rid of it. Don't throw it out. Buy your favorite bag of candy. I'm not going to tell you to not do that. This might be like completely opposite or contrary to the most popular advice, of like keeping your candy out of sight and out of mind, or just don't buy the ones you like. No, I'm not going to tell you that, because to me, that's not teaching you how to be able to live with it. So, this is like, to me, this is the real world, right? This is life, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. No pun intended there. So I want you to imagine if you knew that you could have your favorite piece of candy anytime, absolutely anytime you wanted. And the thought of this, I know, may cause you a little anxiety just thinking about that. And if it does, then ask yourself why. Why does it cause you anxiety? Ask the question, like, what if I gave myself unconditional permission to eat my favorite sweet anytime, any day? What would that feel like? Think about that for a minute. What would that feel like? That would be pretty amazing, wouldn't it? You might go a little crazy at first, yeah, and that's completely normal and part of the process. But after a while, after a week, after 2 weeks, after 3 weeks, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm sick of this. I'm good. I think I want something a little more nutrient dense now, something a little more healthy. I think I'm all set with that. And you get to that point, especially when you give yourself unconditional permission to eat anything you want. And next, I want you to just forget all the plans you might have created for yourself, okay? Don't plan out how much you're going to eat or when you're going to eat, because when you put these rules or regulations or like guidelines around your food, then that's when we tend to overeat or binge. And it's like telling a little kid, okay, you can't have the presents until Christmas. So what do? Right? They just want to they want to shake it, they want to feel it, they just stare at it. And they go out of their minds just thinking about what is in that box, right? So when you create these guidelines and food rules around your food, it makes you go a little crazy. So just forget all that, right? Get rid of all that. That's diet mentality right there, and we want to push that away. Okay? And next, of course, I want you to eat mindfully, regardless of what you're eating, whether you're sitting down to a nice healthy meal or you're opening up a candy bar. Eat it mindfully, because mindful eating, intuitive eating, they're definitely buzzwords lately that are going around. But what do they actually mean? Okay, this is something that I teach, and for today, your crash course in mindful eating is to actually sit down and pay attention to what you're eating. Okay, sit down and pay attention when you're eating that Halloween candy. Don't just pop it in your mouth, as you go about your day, or as you run out the door, or as you're talking on the phone, or because you just saw it sitting there on the kitchen counter. Actually take a minute to enjoy it, right? That's why you eat it, because it's something you enjoy. So take that minute to eat it in a way that you enjoy it. You don't have to spend 15 minutes salivating over the candy, but all you need to do is just remind yourself to sit down for 1 minute. Okay, that's all I'm asking of you. Sit down for 1 minute and notice the sensation of the candy, the smell, the texture, the taste. Have you ever really done that before when you've sat down with a candy? Never mind your meal. I mean, your meal is what I'd really ultimately like to see everybody doing. But just sit down with that piece of candy for a minute and ask yourself, do you still like it as much as you thought? Like I did with the Kit Kat. I was like, oh, not even as good as I thought it was going to be. Maybe you've been mindlessly eating, certain candies all day long and not even realizing it. Or maybe you really love it, and remind yourself that you can enjoy these treats like this as long as you do it mindfully and actually listen to your body. It's okay to indulge every once in a while, all right? Especially to avoid that binging further down the road because you created this extreme restriction for yourself, right? So that's going to help you there. And next, let's avoid getting like overly hungry. Avoid that extreme hunger, because by doing that, like this goes a long way, or it'll go a long way for you, because it also goes along with intuitive eating. And first of all, you're not honoring your hunger, which is what I teach, if you're getting to the point where you're ravenous, okay? And the very last thing that you probably want is to be overeating, right? So you want, most usually the unhealthiest option. So listen to your body throughout the day, okay? And if you're, say if you're not a snack person, then try to make your meals a little larger so that they'll hold you over a little longer, okay? And try to avoid the extremes of hunger and your fullness, on that spectrum. So, like I said, you don't want to get to the point where you're ravenous. You don't want to get to that point, but you don't want to go all the way to the other end where you're so full you need to unbutton your pants either, okay? So avoid those extremes when you're dealing with your hunger and your fullness. So let me know if you have any questions about the content that I just covered, about getting yourself through all this Halloween candy that's left laying around for you. And, bottom line, enjoy it. And enjoy it, but enjoy it in a way where you're eating it mindfully. You're actually slowing down. You're not just pop it in your mouth as you run out the door. Sit down for a minute and enjoy it, and notice what does it smell like? What is that texture like in your mouth? What does it feel like? What does it look like, okay? All of these things that go into mindful eating, and that slows you down, and that helps you to really appreciate it, and helps you to really, really, truly enjoy it. Because like I said, we have it because we enjoy it to begin with, right? It's something we enjoy, it's something we love. So eat it in a way that you really enjoy it. And that way, when it slows you down, you're less likely to overeat on it, okay? So let me know if you have any questions, and if not, I hope you'll have a very beautiful Monday and a great start to your week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.